Hey everybody, it is Scruffy. It is November 6, 2025, and I want to talk a little bit about food stamps or the SNAP program and saving money, etc., etc. I hope you're not bored with this, but I just want to, kind of share this and maybe you could, share it out to people that you think might need it, etc. Um, has been the government shutdown, as we all know, for SNAP recipients. It's been hard for some people, especially probably the elderly, disabled, and children, especially. And it just stuns me that there are people supposedly going hungry in this country. Now, I can understand the people out on the streets, the homeless, stuff like that. But people who are driving around SUVs, etc., have nice cars or decent cars, and they are on, the SNAP program. They might have, 4 or 5 kids, which is understandable these days. It's hard to meet ends meet because of the prices are so high, which started to happen around the time of COVID, especially because of the transportation problems and fertilizer problems coming in from Russia, etc. We've had some tough times with that, and then all of a sudden the stuff with the chickens and turkey, with bird flu, especially with the chickens, the culling of the chickens, millions and millions and millions and millions of chickens being destroyed because of the bird flu. And what's sick is when a rancher or a chicken farm people notice a few sick chicken, they have to destroy those chicken. But the agents, the government agents, go out and they will look at the chickens, examine, and etc. And from just maybe about 20 chickens or whatever that they look at, thousands of them have to be destroyed. And same with cattle. Been having problems with that industry, and we are very short on cattle, meaning beef. And ranchers have been having a hard time, which is understandable since COVID, blah, blah, blah. But President Trump has made a deal with Argentina to bring up beef from down that way, which should try to, alleviate the shortage of beef, and hopefully the prices will go down a bit. And the ranchers, of course, are all ticked off about that. So, whatever aisle you're on with that, I don't know what to say, except that people need to be fed, and people like beef, and they like their hamburger, etc. So alleviating the price problem, I feel, is something that has to be done. We're trying to feed a large population up here, and $8-9 a pound of hamburger is ridiculous, especially for a family who's trying to feed their kids. So anyways, I'm just going to go through a couple of things here. There's no reason for anybody in America to starve. Nobody. If you're out on the streets, I'm sure you know where the soup kitchens are, etc., etc., and the resources. Hopefully you know. But even in your towns that people are not homeless and they have an apartment or a house, and their budget is tight, they're having a tough time. You know where your resources are, or you should. There's pantries, there's churches, and really the churches and neighbors need to step up and help out, especially right now. We don't know when 50% of the SNAP is going to kick in for November. We don't know. It could take a week. It could take 2 weeks. It's almost Thanksgiving. So there's that. Anyways, I'm just going to give a few little items here to look at and go through them. Now, a lot of people know that Dollar Tree is a blessing, and we want to keep those kind of places like Dollar Tree in business. Buy regularly over there so you can keep those places in business, because the community need places like Dollar Tree. So anyways, Dollar Tree does have some food items. They have canned and jar stuff and frozen stuff and refrigerated stuff. So try to keep those places in business. Anyways, I've got a bunch of items here that you can see that we're going to talk about. And this is typically what should be donated to pantries and brought to neighbors that need help, or the elderly that you may notice needs a little bit of help. And you know what's funny about elderly, they don't really reach out for help. So if you have neighbors that are elderly, visit them, talk to them, see if they need something, and be able to donate some stuff. Now there's people watching this that you've got a plenty of money. You've got enough money to, get stuff at Walmart or your favorite grocery store or whatever, and buy, $50 worth or $100 worth and donate it. You could do that, once a month. There are people that can spare that. Need to fill up the pantries. The pantries are going to be really terribly low November and December and even into January. They've got to replenish what is being taken right now for, with the people that are on SNAP that aren't getting any SNAP benefits right now. And of course, the people who are on SNAP, they should be precisely elderly who need it, children, disabled. They are the ones that take top priority. Children who are in school, in public schools, usually have lunch. They have a lunch program for people that are low income. And even some schools offer breakfast. So those children are doing pretty good if they're getting those kind of benefits. And when they get home, don't let them snack on potato chips and Cheetos and stuff like that. Make some healthy stuff. Do some wise decisions for your children's health and your own health. SNAP is not supposed to be for junk food. You're not supposed to be, you're supposed to be surviving on SNAP, not gorging yourself with all kinds of disgusting stuff. So with that said, if you're going to donate or if you're going to buy for yourself, you need to prep. People need to learn how to prep, I'm saying, okay? Because this could happen again. Or something comes your way, like a tornado, God forbid, or hurricane or whatever, you need to be prepared, okay? Start prepping. Quit, sitting there thinking that everybody's going to take care of you, because Not the government is not there to take care of you. That's not their job, but this is what it's become. Okay, so, basic rice and beans. Here's lentils. Here's dry milk. And we got canned goods, corn, beans, green beans, sweet potatoes, broth to make any kind of soups or stews. And instead of going to the market to get yourself a frozen pie for a dessert now and then, make your own. This is a great value. This is apple filling. And it's good. It's good stuff. Or get yourself some apples and cut them up yourself and make them. You can make the crust out of flour. And then we got your pasta, oats, and then turkey, and cream soup. I guess you could get some Dinty Moore and hearty soups is another thing that you could get. Condensed milk and evaporated milk, potato flakes for mashed potatoes, the box kind or canned potatoes, Spam. Let's see, I don't have any tuna out here. Corned beef, I got salmon, chicken breast, here's more rice, here's pasta. To keep pasta really a lot fresher, you can put it in one of these kind of jars, mason jar or whatever. I've got dried whole eggs. These are a good investment. It might be a little spendy, but if you're ever out. And of course, sugar. Always want to have sugar on hand and flour. Plant yourself something. Put it in the window. Grow your herbs. And of course, gravy and whatever, taco stuff or teriyaki, whatever you want to flavor your food with. And of course, Jell-O is a nice little dessert, or if you feel under the weather, some Jell-O is good, or pudding. You got stuff you can put for like meatloaf. And if you can't get bread, for those who are wanting bread, you can make tortillas. It's very, very, very simple. There's tons of videos on how to make them. You just need flour and some water and a little oil. That's all you need. And you mix that dough up and knead it. And you have dough for tortillas. Separate the dough into little balls and flatten them out real flat. And put them in a hot pan, like a skillet. You don't need to add any oil to it. Just throw them in there. And it'll cook up. So, these are just some of the examples to, for, donating. And I always put the dates on there so I can tell when they're best by. Not expired, but best by, okay? We have a can of white kidney beans here. And I don't know if it would be any better right now or not. I'd have to open it up and see, but it should be okay. It's not that bad. Now, as far as Augustin Farms and some of the other 10 cans, you can get them with SNAP, the EBT. Okay, this is going to keep for till 2033. Isn't that amazing? So if you don't eat it, your children can inherit it and they can eat it. But there's all kinds of different Augustin Farms products, different kinds of soups and vegetables and whatnot, even meat. And this is an investment. Okay? It's something that you can have on hand. All you need to add is water, heat it up, you're good to go. So that is just some suggestions, whether to donate or get yourself and like they've been saying. I'm sure you've been hearing it all along since COVID anyways. When you go to the store, and don't go to the fancy stores, and don't buy New York strip steaks, for Pete's sakes. If you're on SNAP, you're really cutting into your food budget when you do that. You're supposed to be getting what you need, not what you desire. And make yourself meatloaf and stretch out your meals that way. You can make good spaghetti and lasagna and stuff like that. You're adding a lot to it, so it can be stretched out. But when you go to the grocery store, preferably where you can get better prices, so you can stretch that EBT out. Now, if you are on SNAP, and I'm not trying to judge, I don't know you, I'm just saying. If you are on SNAP and you are able-bodied, okay, you need to work. And I think right now the rule goes that you need to work 20 hours a week. That's not a lot. 20 hours is not a lot. That's 5 hours a day for 4 days, or 4 hours for 5 days. You can definitely find a nice little niche to work in so you can get your SNAP to feed your children or to feed yourself. So, people have got to quit complaining. They've got to quit taking advantage. There's people out there that have real issues, that are in wheelchairs. And I've seen over at Walmart, there's a guy he is quadriplegic, and he is working at Walmart. He's in his wheelchair. He's quadriplegic, and he's working. So what is your excuse? People need to get off their high knees and get out there and start being productive and feeling good about themselves. Quit demanding that other people, taxpayers, pay for you. Now, do what you can. And I know it's hard with, little kids, but you've got neighbors, you've got family. Come together and help one another. That's how it used to be. And these churches need to come together. These churches need to start stepping up to the plate, because a lot of churches aren't doing a thing, because people aren't taking part. They're not donating. They're not donating money. They're not donating food. Churches really do need to have a food pantry and get it organized and have, proper volunteers and etc. It's the only way we can get together and, feed everybody that is needing food. So that's my little statements today, and I'm not trying to judge anybody about what their situation is. Everybody has a different situation, different health issues and circumstances, and I know there's a lot of depression today of different sorts, and of course autism and ADHD and all that stuff. There's also resources for help with that. So I have seen and know of people with ADHD and autism, depending on what kind, that are capable of working, and they do work. So if you are having any kind of mental issues, there are resources in a lot of communities that can help you, and you can work. So I've seen Down syndrome people working. They work at grocery stores, fast food places, you name it. So there are those resources, and people of that caliber can work. Anyways, so that's it. I just wanted to share that with you.